Hi, my name is Louis Grosso, and I'm the director of the Media Studies program at Mercy College. The Media Studies program offers course concentrations in film culture, journalism, and radio intelligent production, with additional course tracks in public relations and theater performance. At the end of each calendar year, students and faculty get together to present some of the work they've been doing during that year. This is so other students in the program get an idea to see what's going on in that program. Unfortunately, we couldn't get together in person this year, so we thought to put together a video so you can see what was going on. I hope you enjoy it.
Hi, my name is Michael Parada. I am the advisor to the college publication, The Impact. So every semester in the Impact course, we team up in smaller groups and we put together what we call Impact Nows, which is a take on the old CBS Hear It Now and then See It Now. So we like to keep that journalistic tradition going with that title. And we like to get people working together in groups because that's what this industry is, working together. And we like to give everybody an experience for long form journalism while mingling in different components of multimedia. So this semester we focused on a story about vaping, which we thought was really important since it was considered one of the biggest health risks in the young community.
Hi, my name is Francesca Simoni. I'm the managing editor of The Impact. And one of the things that we do is Impact Nows. And they're multimedia stories, and what's important about them is that they offer a package of all different kinds of media. There's photos, videos, there's interactive parts, so that the reader isn't just on one page, scrolling through to the end of the story and they're done. They're able to interact, offer feedback. It's a good way to put a very big story, something that's more important than others maybe, into words properly.
Hi, my name is Amber Perez, and I'm a senior editor for the Impact News. So we as a group chose to write about vaping because vaping was a really big deal at the time. There were a lot of people who were dying and getting sick from it, so we felt like it was important to inform people of the dangers of what vaping can cause.
Valerie, and I'm the senior editor of The Impact, and I've been on the paper for 3 years. I'm used to having people tell me about things that they don't usually tell people about, so for this particular story, it was easy to interview different types of people and talk about their juuling addiction. And for some people, it was surprising to know that they knew they had a problem, but they didn't really care about the consequences. And some people actually did want to get help.
Hi, I'm Alexis Lynch. I'm the associate editor for The Impact News. And during our Podheads Impact Now, we interviewed people who did juul, but we also interviewed experts on the opposite hand who were against juuling. And I interviewed JJ Santaga, who was a personal trainer and a hockey coach for teenagers and younger kids. And he spoke about how he saw this kind of new trend going on and about how it came about, and young kids talking about it that shouldn't even know about smoking and juuling and vaping and all those things. I also did the production for the piece as well. So this included getting videos, making videos, and also getting photos and screen grabs from TV shows and implementing that into our story as well.
Why do you feel it's important for college journalists ready to graduate? Why do you feel it's important that they're prepared to cover multimedia stories in this manner?
Well, first and foremost, with the way that technology is evolving, everyone kind of needs to know how to do a little bit of media, regardless if it's, how to film a video, take pictures on the camera, or upload things and embed links into your columns. It's all kind of super important because it's just going to get more and more advanced as we go along, since technology is going to be always evolving in the future. And me specifically, I love doing the multimedia pieces because media is a way that I want to go down in the future. So it's important for me to have that in my resume and portfolio so companies can see, oh, she's done this before, she knows what she's doing, so she might be a good hire rather than someone else who might have not done it before.
Ladies, how is this story different than anything you've worked on in the past?
This story was different because it was my first multimedia story. I usually write columns and very small news stories for the school. So it was like my first real news story to me.
It was different for me because this was the first impact that I did with a group of people. So I think like working with other journalists helped me with like group, like, because I think in like the industry I'm gonna have to work with different writers and different people in production. So I think this helped me learn how to work with other people.
Is this an example of a public service piece where journalists, tackle an issue and they feel it's important for the public to know about possible hazards or dangers? Why do you feel it's important for news staffs to do these types of stories and get the information out to the community?
I think it's important to get stories like this because the public has an obligation to know what's out there, especially parents, because I think juuling started and people didn't really know what vaping was or the dangers and hazards of it, and a lot of underage kids were even juuling and sneaking in their school supplies because it looks like a regular pen. So I think that parents and the public has an obligation to know what's out there and exactly what the dangers are.
And I think something that we learned through classes that we had to take in our journalism course was that we serve the public. Like, we provide the public with information, and that's our main goal, is to protect the public and let them know whatever a corporation's doing that is wrong or what they're trying to hide. We are the people who are there to get the news out and make sure that they know what's going on.
I think it's important because even before I wrote this story, I had no idea what vaping was or how serious it was. So when I started doing the research, I realized how deadly it can be. And I feel like the public should know so we can protect people from it.
Media 200 was a television performance class. A little difficult during a semester when everyone in the room had to wear a mask, but with studio and at-home projects, we made it work. First, the students all made vlogs to establish how comfortable they were in front of a camera.
Welcome to my first vlog.
A little bit about myself, I like to do YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. Go subscribe to it. It's at CJ Got the Drip. I like to entertain people. I like to make people laugh. I like to spread positivity.
What Americans tend to say is, hi, how are you? But Jamaicans say, wagwan, and that's basically the same thing as saying, hi, how are you?
Then we began with the basics: mouth exercises, facial expressions, diction, articulation. No better way to practice all those things than with the incomparable Dr. Seuss.
I can read in red. I can read in blue. I can read in pickle color too.
Out there, things can happen and frequently do to people as brainy and footy as you.
Then we moved on to performance in commercials, newscasting, and public service announcements. Work that the students did both at home and in the studio.
An environment study has found channel deepening won't have any long-term effects on the health of Port Phillip.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nicolette Ayala reporting live from Yorktown Heights, New York.
You want to be the star. But what if I told you you could be the one in the million with the new Paco Rabanne 1 million cologne?
Guess what? When it comes to making it a tough decision, like whether or not to drink, kids say parents have more influence than anyone.
Hey, it's me, the Ben & Jerry's Freezer Fairy. That's what I said, Ben & Jerry's Freezer Fairy. You know some people don't believe in freezer fairies? Doesn't bother me. I know I'm here.
We ended the semester with the entire class reading through the pilot script of the first episode of Grey's Anatomy. It was good training for performing with others as well as individually.
This is humiliating on so many levels. You have to go.
Come back down here. We'll pick up where we left off.
This is humiliating on so many levels. You have to go.
Come back down here. We'll pick up where we left off.
You want to be a surgeon, you cheat and you kick and you fight like hell for what you can get.
I should have gone into geriatrics. No one minds when you kill an old person.
Surgery is hot, George. It's like the Marines. It's macho, it's hostile, it's hardcore. Geriatrics is for freaks who live with their mothers and never have sex.
I'm delighted to have this opportunity to show off some of the work that our students in the Film and Culture concentration have been engaged in. One of the highlights for me each semester is working with my students on a mini documentary about the course. Unlike a formal presentation where students would speak in front of an audience or their classmates, here I have my students interview each other on camera to discuss the ideas and the concepts that we're covering each semester. What's really great about it is that students find that they're very insightful, and they're often impressed and surprised about how well they come off in this format. Here you're going to see a brief excerpt from the work that was done in my Hitchcock Disciples class, where students discuss the director's use of humor.
So we talked about North by Northwest, and I'd also like to talk about Frenzy, because that, despite being a very dark, very pessimistic film, is also full of humor. And Hitchcock uses it exceptionally to break up the tension and bring some levity to films that would otherwise be very dark, and I think without the humor would be kind of hard to get through.
It was morbid, but there was a scene where the murderer, he left some evidence on the body that he tried to get rid of. So he was just extensively trying to go back to get the piece of evidence because he left his pin.
And like it's a really like memorable pin. There's like people could see him like wearing it in his suit. And he's a really popular guy, so they will see it, they'll recognize it.
And the pin was in her hand, so he had to go into the truck where the potatoes were. He had to go find where her body was, get into the sack.
And when he does, the truck starts moving. And then like there's a whole calamity, like the potatoes start falling out, the back of the truck opens. There are people on the highway behind the truck, like seeing the sacks and everything moving around, and he's trying to hide in the meantime. And then it's just like a lot of chaos for like this one mistake.
In trying to remove the pin, he is repeatedly kicked in the face by a corpse, which, I mean, shouldn't be that funny, but it ends up being hilarious despite the circumstances.
There was suspense in there too, just trying to waiting to see if he was going to get figured out. And I thought it was funny because of how many close calls there were in that one scene. Because it could have been, oh no, someone hurt him. Oh no, someone saw him. Or, oh no, she's actually alive, whatever it was. But I thought it was funny just the lengths that he had to go to just to get the pin back.
Yeah, he has to break her fingers open because she's holding on to the pin.
When bodies post-mortem, like they tend to like stiffen. So she was gripping onto like the pin for like pretty much dear life, even as a corpse.
He basically had to break her fingers just to get the pin.
You could hear like the snapping, like.
I mean, it's disgusting, but it somehow is still funny. It's the magical thing that Hitchcock and his writers and his actors can accomplish.
Amazingly, he still managed to walk away. He still managed to walk away with it, but he did get caught later. So
I certainly understand the idea that that's what makes so many of Hitchcock's films funny, is that we relate to it. Is in the humor is tackling very dark subjects, so and a lot of people can relate to that with how they deal with trauma, how they deal with loss, how we deal with those difficult emotions.
Up until the closure of movie theaters last March due to the pandemic, students in our Film and Culture concentration have been attending some of their classes at our local Alamo Cinema. What's great is it's not just students and myself in the theater, but there's an audience as well. And both the audience and the students get involved in the discussion. Last March, we did screen a couple of screwball comedies for our Screen Comedy and Clowns class. Have a look.
Years later, 1959, where it's Tony Curtis in Some Like It Hot plays the Cary Grant persona. Literally, doing the whole accent. I'm not going to do the accent, the voice, which is like even a nondescript accent. Is it American? Is it English? It's neither. It's Cary Grant. Cary Grant would later go on to say that even I would like to be Cary Grant. So it's this persona that he really created, and in many ways we have actually Leo McCarey to thank for this. While he felt that the more serious drama would be more deserving of Oscar recognition, we look at this film. Yes, it's hilarious. It's funny. It's a classic of the genre. But it is about serious things, right? It's about deceit, it's about trust, it's about vanity, but ultimately, it's about love. I've always said that film studies is about ideas and exploring the ways in which those ideas are communicated through the medium of film. Now, I know things have been different these last 9 months, but whether we're in person or remote or a combination of the two, the core of what we do in the Film and Culture concentration hasn't changed.
So has anyone seen the Dallas Buyers Club? Yeah. Couple people. Okay, cool. So for the people that haven't, here's just a quick summary. Something I found interesting about this movie was that even though Ron and Rayon had like this partnership, I found it interesting that he still identified her, Rayon, as a he. And I was just like, it's ridiculous. Like, even though they are like, partners, he still doesn't identify her as what she wants to be, you know what I mean?
It's still nice to show that someone's still human, who's still accepting and help a friend, but they will still slip up. But after losing Rayon, he's still a better man, like helping the community as much as he can.
Yeah, it kind of gives him like some perspective, which is pretty interesting.
As you see, we're still deeply engaged in conversations about how film reflects the culture and vice versa. I hope you enjoyed this brief showcase of what's happening within the Film and Culture concentration. In spring 2020, my broadcast journalism class was forced to go completely remote. This meant students, had to produce their videos with their camera phones and their software that they had to edit with at home. What ended up being a plan for 8 videos in 4 groups ended up being 32 videos from 16 students. Our first video clip is from Christine, all the way from Hawaii. She's armed with her camera phone, her video editing software on her desktop, and her father as the subject.
After high school, people have to decide what they want to do. People go to college, go straight into the work field, or join the military. Today we'll be speaking with my dad on why he joined the Marines and what he did during his service.
I was in the Marines for just under 27 years. Most of it was the reserves, 8 years active. Basically what I did in the Marines was originally electronics maintenance, but as I stayed in, it's progressed into tactical communications, and I did that for the majority of my career. And I basically stayed because I actually liked it. It's a fun job to do. It's a group of people that I enjoyed working with, and the travel was great.
Military recruiters are good at persuading others to join their branch. For some, all they have to do is be nice towards those they're trying to enlist.
Originally, I wanted to join the Navy because Top Gun just came out and I wanted to work on the aircraft carriers. And I went to the recruiter, but he wasn't there, so I just sat outside waiting for him to get back. And the Marine recruiter was right next door and asked me what I was doing. I said I was waiting for the Navy. He said he can wait inside in the air with the air conditioning. And I said okay. And then once I got in, that's when he got me.
People join the military on their own accord. It's not easy working in that field. So whenever you see someone who works in the military or is a veteran, you should thank them for their service. Reporting to you from home, Christine Narita.
This second clip is a feature story. It's a little bit more in depth. Paul tells us about how his father is restoring an old truck.
welcome to What Are You Doing? Today, we're going to be asking my father, what are you doing?
My name is Ken Guinardi.
And what is
your father?
What is your hobby that you're into?
Amongst many of them, probably my biggest one is restoring old cars. Pretty much most of my life since I've been old enough to drive. First thing I ever restored was a 1968 Delta 88 Oldsmobile. It was a big old boat. It was my first car. I drove it for about 6 months. So my mother decided it was too powerful a car for me and insisted I had to get something smaller. First car we ever restored was a 37 Plymouth. But the truck that we're working on now is a 1953 3100 series Chevy pickup truck. We've done a lot of work on it, and right now what you caught me in the middle of doing today is trying to find out why I've got a knock in the lower end of the engine. So as much fun as these things are to have and own, they're always a project. One of the best parts about owning these is getting to go out and go for a ride in it and see how other people react to it. It's part of history. And then also to be able to explain to people what they are. For me, the younger generation, the kids that come around, a lot of guys in this hobby don't like the kids getting near the cars. I'd like to see them be interested, so maybe this hobby continues long past my generation doing them.
Do you ever think I'll be able to drive it one day?
I think you'll be able to drive it one day?
Yeah.
If we can find somewhere for you to try driving it, sure. Yeah, absolutely you could drive it one day.
Thank you so much for watching. That's been What Are You Doing? Starring my dad. I hope you enjoyed. Have a great rest of your day.
Hi, I'm John Misevich. I'm the professor for radio. Radio, a lot of times people look at it and really think it's dated, but radio is still one of the most widespread electronic forms of communication that we have in the world. And it's often used in this country. So what we try to do in the levels of radio is teach you the basics, the absolute basics in the first level, and then expand on those in the advanced levels. So in the first level, we teach the basics through practical means and with a little bit of production. The first production that students do, and by the way, they write and produce all of their own material. The first type of production is called a PSA, and while a public service announcement is the end result, the methods used teach students how to work their way around the board. This first example is by Stephanie Langhorst.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. Nearly 2 million women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year. Breast cancer is the most common cancer in women worldwide and the second most common cancer overall. Globally, it now represents 1 in 4 of all cancers in women. About 1 in 8 US women will develop invasive breast cancer over the course of her lifetime. A woman's risk of breast cancer nearly doubles if she has a mother or a sister who has been diagnosed with breast cancer. But the 5-year relative survival rate for women with invasive breast cancer is 90%. It is treatable, and the breast cancer survival rate keeps increasing. It is important to check yourself from time to time, and whenever you think you feel something different, go see your doctor. Even if it's just a feeling, go. This ad is brought to you by the Ad Council.
The next type of production students do is a commercial. And in this example, once again, Stephanie Langhorst.
Are you tired of buying the wrong color foundation? Is it too white? Is it too dark? Well, you no longer have to waste your money, because here's your solution, the Milky Boost Foundation. We, Clarins, created a foundation that matches the pH level in your skin. All you have to do is emulsify the product in your hands and apply it to your skin. It matches your skin color within seconds. Go buy the Milky Boost Foundation at any Walgreens or take a look on our website at www.clarins.com.
In advanced radio, students go to the next level. They learn how to create and program a format that they choose. They create all of the elements necessary, and they learn the business side, which entails a lot of paper. I also teach video editing. We take several approaches in the different styles of editing techniques. As always, you've got to learn how to put two pictures together. and match up the sounds. And in the basic levels, that's what we do. In the advanced levels, we learn how to break all the rules. This first example, all students do. They all use the same footage and follow a script. This is to teach the most basic of editing.
So, how did you do?
I don't know. I think I did okay.
What do you mean, okay? Didn't you study?
Yeah, but some of those questions were really out there.
Oh, you have my notes. You should have at least passed.
Well, you know, I missed a couple of classes. I just hope I did okay, though.
Yeah, you probably did fine. Try not to sweat it so much. Come on, let's go get some lunch. My treat.
Your treat.
This next example is a project that students write, shoot, and produce all by themselves. The intention is to be done with stills. It's part of what we call pre-visualization, which is actually editing before anything's ever shot. This example is by Stephanie Lankhorst.
Okay, Steph, you just got tested positive for COVID. Now what? Come on, keep it together. You got this. 10 to 14 days in quarantine. You did it before. It is over before you know it. Just have to push through. Oh my God, I have so much homework to do. How could I get COVID in the very last week from the semester? Why, God? Why? Alright, we can do this. We just have to come up with ideas. How am I going to spend my time in quarantine? This is not so bad. I can just lock myself up and finish all my homework just in time. I will make it work. What should I watch? Grey's Anatomy, How to Get Away with Murder, Dexter, Game of Thrones. Wait, what? I have a paper due for human biology? Tonight? When was the last time I FaceTimed my grandparents? What should my final project for video editing be about? Oh, I miss home. I miss my friends. I miss my family. I miss my dog. I like these pants. Why do they have 5 buttons though? So inconvenient. You remember when the show Tiger King was so popular? That seems ages ago. Does it smell in here? Do I smell? Wait, did I lose my sense of smell? They say roses are red, violets are blue, but violet means purple. Okay, let's make a new Spotify playlist. Title of the playlist: COVID Vibes. Is all yogurt in Greece Greek yogurt? An orange is the only color you can taste. Bored in the house, bored in the house, bored. Bored in the house, bored in the house, bored. How long have I been in quarantine? Oh, okay. 17 minutes and 38 seconds. 13 days, 23 hours, 42 minutes, and 22 seconds to go. If fish die in water, did they drown? Telling someone to be quiet makes you a hypocrite. Can I put my leg up to my head? Okay, 1 paper down, 3 more to go. Let's go. I wonder if we're going to live in a world like this forever. I'm starving and also very tired. I cannot wait till 2020 to be over. Wait, this means I quarantine during Christmas and New Year's Eve. How much longer? Oh, I can try to work out. Yeah, no, not doing this. Toes are so weird. Fingers too. Would I rather want to be deaf or blind? Should I dye my hair blonde? This is going to be a long quarantine.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jade Snyder, and I'd love to share with you some of the amazing work from our students in media and communications courses from last spring until this fall. Past 2020 has been a tough year for everybody, but I think that hopefully you'll agree some of this work is amazing. And I think it's just worth sharing with everybody the hard work that these students put together. First up is creative advertising, and in this class, midway through, we moved online just like everybody else last spring, and these students put together some fantastic work that represents what they were seeing around them at the time and incorporated it into a project where they were supposed to create a water ad for any brand that they chose. And here's some of the work that they did. So this first example is what you might have recognized during the spring as a New Yorker concept from the New Yorker that one of our students adapted for Essentia Water and turned into a tribute to our heroes. And the second example was a more traditional approach to branding, where the student took an example of Fiji's branding that was untouched and then married it with this concept of togetherness for social distancing. Next up, we've got intercultural communication, which is a COM 220 taken by many majors and non-majors alike. Really important applications, certainly for our times where we look at intercultural conflict and the differences among cultures and some of the issues that we're facing. One of the important things that students are focusing on now in the first part of the assignment is to look at creating an identity mosaic. And that's really many different facets of how they are influenced by culture, where they get their ideas of culture, how they identify and view themselves. And what you're about to see is a fantastic example of an application of this concept, really using the textbook, but also making it really come to life with a full, important exploration of self.
Hi, my name is Sage Alejandra Altamirano, and I'm going to be telling you a little bit about myself. So let's start with the basics. I was born on April 14th, 1998 in Manhattan, which means that I'm an Aries and that I'm 22 years old. I'm Ecuadorian on my dad's side. My grandparents are from Quito, but my dad was born here in Manhattan. I'm Puerto Rican on my mom's side. My grandparents were from San Juan, but my mom was born here in Manhattan. Even though I'm both Ecuadorian and Puerto Rican, I identify more with my Puerto Rican side because I grew up in a Puerto Rican household. Just like my parents, I was born and raised here in Manhattan, and like Alicia said, it is a concrete jungle. I identify as a bisexual female and go by she, her pronouns. I also prefer to communicate in a low context style and love to code switch. For example, she went. Okay. Wait, do it again. Dale vuelta. Hey. And another example.
Go ahead and just spend all the money you have on, honestly, but y'all really should not have money because it is y'all getting paid this week.
From the ages of 5 to 13, I went to a primarily white Catholic school in the West Village called Our Lady of Pompeii, which is where I learned how to speak in what society considers proper. While attending the school, I tried to assimilate to the culture within the school. I was the only Latina in my grade, in the school, and experienced racism and developed long-lasting insecurity. For high school, I went to boarding school in Poughkeepsie, New York, Oakwood Friends School. There were different cultures and languages, and I met people from all over the world. I learned that not everyone is part of a contact culture, and some people come from low-contact cultures. Although there were only a handful of Latinas, I was still learning more about my culture and felt a sense of comfort. While I did experience racism at that school, I was also able to work through my insecurities, and I realized that I wasn't ugly, I just wasn't white. After high school, I went to Utica College. I soon transferred out because of the cost, the cold weather, and the culture shock. It was around election times, and I was not ready to handle all the openly racist people, and I did not want to be at another predominantly white institution. After Utica, I transferred to Mercy College and then pledged my sorority, Hermandad de Sigma Iota Alpha Incorporada. With the help of my sorority, I truly dived into my culture and learned about myself and other Latin American cultures. I'm learning new things about myself every day. For example, I recently learned that I speak a lot with my hands, and at first I thought it was a Latina thing. It might just be attributed to because my mother speaks a lot with her hands.
You like her? Oh, you like me too? Wow! You ain't liked her first. Stop. Go ahead.
I have a polychronic view of time and enjoy human experiences over the construct of time. I believe that human nature is a mixture of good and evil. They work together to create a perfect balance because without one, you cannot have the other. Without the negative experiences I had in my life, I would have not been able to learn and grow into the person that I am today. Because I live in the United States, I believe I was programmed to have a more individualistic view, but because of quarantine and through deep meditation, I've been trying to unlearn that and move more into a collectivistic way of thinking. Thank you for taking the time to watch my identity mosaic. Have a great day.
This year in effective presentations, students developed the soft skills necessary to present creative arguments that were thoughtfully researched and well defended, and they did it all on Zoom. I think you will find the topics pretty fun, and we certainly had a lot of fun putting them together.
Hi, we are Jizzy Corporation, the spiritual realtors. We allow homeowners and home buyers like you to feel safe.
So negative presences very seriously, and we want to assure our clients that we will make your spooky home into a safe, positive environment for you and your family.
We also have worked with Nipsey Hussle's girlfriend, Lauren London, who actually called us after his passing to teach her how to sage her home, which has now become a ritual she does every morning with her kids before they go to school.
Thank you. Okay, so hi everybody. We are the COVID Busters, and we are going to be discussing doomsday prep.
In our society, they would no longer have to worry about reckless and careless people who do not take the virus seriously. And our society prioritizes their health. We believe that our services will assure them that they can live their best life and live a worry-free life. Next, we want to attract people who take the virus as seriously as we do and have taken part in trying to mitigate the spread of the virus. So that includes like doctors and nurses. In addition to them, we want people who would help keep the society running smoothly, like electricians and technicians and that sort of stuff.
So we COVID Busters, we have this big lakeside area of land in New York where we're planning to successfully work and build our society together and ultimately outlive the pandemic, outlive the possibility of worst case scenario, a stronger strain of the virus happening.
Okay. All right. So Mars X. Our mission is simple: to bring the greatness of the human race to the outer reaches of space, to the nearest planet, to the nearest star. Although we are called Mars X, it only serves as a minimum, but a minimum so large it can change humanity forever. So who are we? I'm Brady Kernan. I'm the lead research and developer and head marketer at Mars X.
Hi guys, and I'm Steven Ayala, head of technology and innovation, director of finance and accounting.
Hi, how you doing? And I'm Edmund. I am the Earth expert and the lead scientist for our mission to Mars.
So why Earth?
We were able to hold our play production course this fall face-to-face on campus. We had the lecture hall, for which we were very grateful, and used the outside spaces on campus as well. During our speech monologue unit, the first, say, 5 weeks of the semester, or even more, we met outside on the Irvington side of campus, and rather than working face-to-face with a partner, the students were paired up with trees on campus in order to bring that feeling that we were saying our speech, our monologue, to a living being. And we moved then inside when the weather got a little more chilly, paired up for scene work. And once Thanksgiving came, we did 2 things. We adapted the scenes to be able to be Zoom theaters, sort of new phenomenon now because of the pandemic. We can't have much live theater going on, so a lot of theater pieces are being performed in the streaming mode, which we did for our final project that you'll see here, the scene work. Students rehearsed remotely. We developed the adaptation remotely, turning the scenes into something that could be performed as a Zoom call between the characters. So what you'll see is a series of these scenes performed for Zoom, and hope you enjoy. Thanks.
So how's it going?
Oh, it's going really great. I have a huge wedding coming up.
I thought you broke it off.
Oh, no. It's not mine. I'm planning for somebody else.
Cool. That's really nice of you.
It's not charity. It's a business. Where is it?
They pay you to plan their wedding?
Yep.
No shit. What about your singing?
What about it?
You have a great voice. Why aren't you doing anything with it?
Like what? It's not very realistic. I mean, you can't go through life singing. There's no future in that.
That's bullshit. What do you think I'm doing? Man, you have a great voice. You're just like Steven.
What do you mean by that?
He's always selling himself short.
Anyway, I really think party planning is where it's at.
So, like, what are you doing?
Everything. I do all the hiring, flowers, caterers. I hire the band.
Damn. What kind of band?
I'm trying to get together a klezmer band. So annoying.
Klezmer?
Yeah, you know, Jewish music.
Of course I know what klezmer music is. What do you think? I don't know my own business?
Wait. Hold up. What do you mean by that? You have a klezmer band?
Hell yeah. We play other stuff too, but we specialize in the klezmer shit.
Oh my God. That's amazing. No freaking way. I mean, wow. This could be very beneficial for the both of us.
Why?
Because every klezmer band in town is booked. I desperately need a band. If I hire you, you're gonna have to be willing to hora. Is that a problem?
Hora? Man, at this point,
Danny, did you tell him I was retarded?
No, I intimated it. There's a difference.
What? I'm not retarded.
Then why are you dressed like that?
I just came from Lair.
Your lair?
No, Danny, stay with me now. Lair. Live, action, interactive, role-playing, explorers. I am Orlord 435.
Great.
This here is my quarterstaff, and this is my jar of spells. Ooh.
You don't say.
This ain't no simple Dungeons and Dragons where you roll dice, Danny. In this game, you do it for real.
Look, here's the deal. We're both in an effed up situation, right? Your mom probably signed you up for it, and you don't want to be here, and neither do I. So I say, we just do as little as possible, and we'll tell them we're out flying kites and all that bull. Cool?
My mother did not sign me up for this.
Well, whoever.
I signed myself up. Thank you for asking.
What?
I signed up myself. I wanna be in the program.
What the hell is wrong with you? Why would you sign up for it?
Oh, I don't know. I thought it'd be something called fun.
Fun? What's fun?
Well, I guess, you know, the staffs and the spells. I don't know.
Great. That was the answer I was looking for.
Well, you have something fun, right?
I don't know, man.
Great. Now's the answer I was looking for.
Midsummer's Night's Dream? What's that?
Play, dummy.
I know that. What's got to do with you?
They're putting it on Haley Hall. Open tryouts.
So?
So I'm gonna act. Ever since I can remember, I've always wanted to try it. Last summer, I even tried going to the summer stock auditions, but my father wouldn't let me.
And this year he will?
Hell no. But that's not the point. The point is, for the first time in my whole goddamn life, I know what I want. And I'm gonna do it whether my father wants me to or not.
How are you going to be in a play if your father won't let you?
First, I gotta get the part, then I'll worry about that.
Won't he kill you if he finds out you're auditioning without telling him?
As far as I'm concerned, he wants to know about any of it.
That's impossible.
Or shit, nothing's impossible.
Well, why don't you ask him first? Maybe he'll let you.
Ha! That's a laugh. If I don't ask, at least I won't be disobeying him.
But if he said no before, then...
Oh, Jesus Christ. Whose side are you on? I haven't even gotten the part yet. Can't I enjoy the idea just for a little while? None of what this club means shit to you, does it?
What's that supposed to mean?
Being in the club means being stirred up by things. You look about as stirred up as a cesspool.
So you want me out? Is that what you're saying?
No, I want you in. But being in means you gotta do something. Not just say you're in.
I appreciate your interest in me, but I'm not like you. When you say things, people pay attention. I'm not like that.
Why not? Don't you think you could be?
No, I don't know. I'll probably never know. The point is, there's nothing you can do about it, so butt out, all right? I can take care of myself.
Thank you for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed the videos. Feel free to email any of us with questions. Have a happy and healthy New Year.